Bonjour. Today we're going to learn about descriptive adjectives. We've kind of already covered this a little bit whenever we went over adjective agreement. So the majority of this hopefully won't be too hard or too new for you guys. Let's start off with a definition. Remember that an adjective just describes a noun. Okay, and remember a noun is person, place, or thing. So descriptive adjectives specifically are going to have to agree in gender and number. Okay, so in French, like I said, we've covered this. For the most part, if you wanted to have your adjective feminine, you would add an E. And then if you wanted it to be plural, you have more than one thing, you're going to use an S at the end or an X, right? So let's move on to an example. We have le père est américain, okay? Le père is the dad, right? Dad. And he is masculine. So the adjective that's describing him, we're talking about how he is American, the adjective is going to have to be masculine as well. So guys, the masculine part of things is really easy because you never have to change it. Unless, you're talking about a group of guys, right? Then you would make it with an S or an X. But masculine, you don't change it. You leave it as it is. But if it's feminine, girls, we have it a little harder, right? We need to add an E. Okay, so let's move on. For this one, do you have easy classes? As-tu des cours faciles? Okay, des has an S, cours has an S. Our adjective facile, easy, has to have an S as well. Okay, because we're talking about classes, it's plural. So your adjective needs to agree in gender and in number. Okay? All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you guys quite a few adjectives of physical description. You're going to need to know how to do this for the activity tomorrow. You need to know how to describe yourself physically and other people as well in a nice way, okay? So let me move this down. Adjectives of physical description. So here is your list, okay? Now, as you can see, the majority of them are going to have an E if you're talking about a girl, or if you are a girl and you're describing yourself. For the ones that don't, you really need to make a mental note of this, okay? You need to know that châtain, you're never going to add an E. Jeune, you're never going to add an E. Raide, marron, right? The ones that don't have E in parentheses mean you leave them alone and they are masculine or feminine, does not matter, okay? You will always have to change your adjective to make it agree in number though, okay? Gender is a little different. Sometimes things can be just masculine and feminine. Sometimes they can be both, right? Doesn't matter. So you want to go ahead and write these down. If you need to pause the video so you can write these down, then that's fine, but I'm actually going to move on so this video isn't too long. Okay, so we have bleu, blonde, brun, châtain, court, grande, jeune, jolie, laide, marron, noir, petit, red, et vert. Okay, and there is a little bit of a difference whenever you're talking about pronunciation too. Bleu, bleu, non, c'est les mêmes. Blond ou blonde, brun ou brune, court ou courte, grand ou grande, right? So in context, whenever you would be talking to somebody and you would add that letter, I guess, petit, petite, then you would want to emphasize that, especially if you were talking about a girl, in order to not insult anybody. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to move on. If you need to pause, go ahead and do that. Okay, so here's my example. And this is an example that is agreeing in gender. First of all, we have elle, which is a group of girls. So we're going to make the blonde pretty girls, okay? So we added our E because this is feminine. And then we also added an S because it's a group of girls. So if it was just a group of guys, all you would have to do was add an S, right? But here it's a group of girls. First of all, we know we add our E, and it's a group, so you're going to add your S. All right. So this next part is actually a little chart, and it's kind of the same thing, right? We have all of these descriptive adjectives for you. So I'm going to move this down again. Here you go. Okay, so you have masculine singular. So guys, this is it. Okay, these are really weird ones. These are irregular, there's the word. They're irregular ones, okay? Then this is your feminine singular. Then masculine plural, as you can tell, all you did was add an X. Beau becomes beau, but sounds the same. And then feminine is belle if you're saying somebody's beautiful, but belle with an S if it's a group of girls, right? But the pronunciation stays the same. So we have beautiful or handsome and good and proud and fat, which I think is hilarious that it's gross, but you don't really pronounce the S unless it's the girl one, right? So I'm just going to pronounce these really quickly for you so you can get an idea of how to say them. For the first one, we have beau and belle. We have bon et bonne. Fier et fière. Gros et grosse. Heureux et heureuse. Right, that one was in your script. It's kind of hard to say. Intellectuel et intellectuelle. Long et longue. Naïf et naïve. Roux, rousse. Et vieux et vieille. Okay? That is your descriptive adjectives. There's a lot of adjectives for physical description. I just have one more point for you, and this is related to the position of the adjective. A lot of you guys, when you were doing Duolingo, you were like, French is so crazy. Why is the color coming after the noun? It should be the yellow cat, but it's the cat yellow. Well, that's just kind of the way we do things, right? So let me show you the positions of adjective. I'm going to move this. And what you have is, first of all, there are a few cases where it's placed before the noun, like you want it to be, like it is in English. And that's beau. So if you wanted to say somebody was handsome or somebody was beautiful, you would say beau fille, right? Beau garçon. He's a handsome boy, beau garçon. Bon, same thing. If you're talking about somebody who's tall, he's a tall person. All of these ones that are listed here, all of these are going to be before the noun like you want it to be. The rest of them, for the majority, are placed after, okay? Especially related to color. Now, whenever you use the masculine singular nouns that begin with a vowel, right, we know immediately we have a weird vowel phobia thing, right? We don't like vowels next to each other. So what happens is for these three, they have to change. They change completely. Masculine, feminine, doesn't matter. It has to completely change, okay? So your masculine singular nouns, so beau and nouveau and vieux, if you were talking about a nice apartment, well, apartment is masculine. So you have to use the masculine form of beau, but that creates a problem. So then you change it to belle. It's kind of weird. Same thing with new. You found a new friend. You can't have a nouveau ami because then you have a U in that, right? So you have to change it to nouvelle, and then vieux changes to vieil homme, right? Remember, H is a vowel in French. All right, make sure you have these notes. If you have any questions, bring them to class tomorrow, and we will do a lot of practice and play a couple games related to this. Au revoir.